Welcome back to the Black and Gold Standard Podcast. And today I want to kind of talk about free agents. I build up a list of some of the Steelers' top free agents that I think, just want to kind of talk about those guys. Um, the order I have it in is not by importance. I think the order I got it in is what they made last year. So if you look at the order, I don't want you to think that, that's who I think is more important than this guy or that guy. But yeah, the Steelers have a ton of free agents this year. But again, like I say, this is probably some of the top guys, and just want to kind of put a discussion about them and just kind of put my spin on what I would do and what I kind of think the Pittsburgh Steelers going to do. So with that said, let's roll right into it. So Mike Williams, he made $10 million last year. Definitely not going to see that. Um, he's 31. Kind of weird. Steelers made a trade for him, but then they didn't really play him. And at first I was thinking, well, maybe he's still hurt because he was coming off the ACL. So I was like, well, maybe he ain't really got over that, but that didn't seem to be the problem. Um, Crazy thing about it, whenever they put him out there, he actually made plays. So I don't know what was the deal there. You always hear Mike Tomlin talk about getting on the moving train, and I don't know, maybe the train kind of passed him up a little bit. But I would say if the price is right, if the price is right, and I'm thinking, maybe he could make half of what he made last year. But for the right price, I would bring Mike Williams back. I know the receiving room going to get revamped, but I would definitely bring him back. So I'm going to say Mike Williams a yes. I'm going to say a yes. Bringing him back, like I say, if you can get him for probably about half of what he made last year, it's almost a no-brainer to me. All right, moving right along. James Daniels. Uh, Coming off the Achilles tear, that's a tough injury to rehab. I think the Steelers kind of moved on just with McCormick and some younger guys. So I don't think Daniels will be back. If he's made a fully recovery from an Achilles, he's going to get a real nice payday, and it's probably more than what the Steelers, will be willing to pay him. But you never know if you can't get a deal out there. I can see the Steelers, maybe trying to work something out for 1 year. But right now, I'm going to say James Daniels. No, he won't be back. I don't think he'll be back. Like I say, I think somebody's going to give him a nice payday, way more than what the Steelers are probably looking to pay right now. Dante Jackson, um, 30 years old, kind of stayed hurt a lot. A lot of nagging injuries, especially at the end of the year. Man, I can't. That Baltimore playoff game, he didn't want to have no contact. And probably part of that was his back. I know he had the pinched nerve in his back, but I think the Steelers need to get better at that position. And I think he ended up having like 5 picks, so that might help him get a little decent uh, payday somewhere. But I don't think it'll be here in Pittsburgh. The Steelers got a couple young guys that I think they're going to try to with Corey Trice. They're going to try to get him going, and maybe they might even draft another corner or pick one up in free agency. So definitely, I'm going to say no for Mr. Jackson. Justin Fields, here we go. Man, these quarterbacks is going to be a tough decision. Now, obviously, I would say yes, bring him back. He's young. He did show some growth when he played. Still kind of put that ball on the ground a little bit, but You know, it just seemed like he definitely improved from his Chicago days. So I'm thinking he made 4.7 million. I'm thinking maybe 15 to 17 million probably could get it done. That's still nice. That's still a nice pay raise for him, but that's also a nice price to pay your starting quarterback, for what guys are making now. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Justin Fields is gonna get a payday somewhere else. And I'm thinking the two New York teams, especially if the Giants can't get work nothing out and get a quarterback, I I can see the two New York teams going at him hard, and I can see the Oakland Raiders going at him hard. So right now, I'm gonna say yes, yes, bring Justin back, but do he want to be back? That's the first thing, and the second thing is I don't know. I I think somebody might go after him, and he might be out of here. But I'm gonna say yes to Mr. Fields. Nick Herbert, this is pretty easy. I mean, if he's healthy, I'm quite sure he's going to come in. His brother on the team. Steelers could use him. He's backup center, backup guard. He's at that swing from guard to center. $4 million, they ain't bad. They probably bring him back for that same price. So that's pretty simple. I think yes. I think yes, they get something done, and he'll be back here as a Pittsburgh Steelers. Landon Roberts, kind of getting up in age, didn't really cost a lot, so right now, he's not gonna make more than what he made last year or this year. So if he want to come back, I think the Steelers will bring him back. I mean, he's there thumping um, linebacker. I thought he played pretty decent this year. He didn't play a lot of snaps, but especially with Derrick Henry still being in Baltimore, I can see him coming back. And like I say, it's not going to be for a big deal. So I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes that Roberts probably will be back, and I think the Steelers probably want him back. Najee Harris, wow. So the thing with Najee, if Arthur Smith is back, I mean he doesn't fit the offense. He doesn't fit the zone running blocking scheme. So that's a big negative, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why the Steelers didn't pick up his option. Well, the thing I want to see with Najee, and I hope, because I mean, let's just get this out the way. I don't think he's going to be back, but I hope he goes to a team where he fits their scheme. Um, the Steelers had to know that this is a guy. If you're looking for a guy that's going to take, going to break 80-yard runs and all that, yeah, Najee's not that guy. But I always just hear people say, you want guys that's Steelers and got the Steeler mentality and all this stuff. And Najee Harris is actually that guy. I mean, he's tough, he's rugged. He answered the bill every game, haven't missed a game in 4 years. And to me, that's a hell of a feat as a running back, because these running backs get beat up. And if you look around the league, a lot of these running backs miss time, and Najee Harris is there every week. So I'm wishing him the best, and I hope he goes somewhere. Actually, I think he's going to end up being a Raider, and I think Justin Fields is going to end up being a Raiders too. But we'll see. But I wish him the best. I like him, because I understand what he is. I don't look for him to be more than what he is, and he's just a bruising type running back. But with that said, he won't be a Pittsburgh Steelers next year. Russell Wilson. Wow. These quarterbacks again. I think Russ want to be back. I think Russ want to be back, and I think at this point in his career, I mean, he already played for 3 teams. I don't think Russ want to be bouncing around. I'm quite sure his kids are enrolled in school here in Pittsburgh, so he probably don't want to be bouncing them around. Um, the one thing you could say about Russ from the day he got here, he embraced the city of Pittsburgh. You see him, you see him at the hospitals, and he made his foundation. He built a foundation here, so I already think his plans that he's gonna be back. The one thing that I will say is with Russ, because he caught a lot of flack, especially at the end of the year, that he holds on to the ball. I mean, all the things that Russ did is things that he's always done all his career. So you already got to know when you bring him in, hey, this guy gonna take some sacks. That's what he does. This guy don't really throw over the middle of the field. I mean, that's what he do. This is like nothing new, and I mean, he's been in the league, 10, 13 years. So this is not new. So they were saying that it's going to cost between $25 and $30 million to get him signed. I don't. That may not be the case, because Russ got to know. Russ got to understand he's 37, and for him to be effective, he needs a lot of things around him. So he needs to get that receiver room fixed, get him some weapons. He needs to get that offensive line together. Him and Arthur Smith got to get on the same page of the plays they want to run. So Russ needs a lot of things around him to be effective. And I thought he was pretty effective this year. But with that said, Russ got to realize maybe taking $25, $30 million is not what he needs to do. Like I say, I'll never count on other men's pockets. But he had made, he had made a lot of money. So if he looks at it, maybe I take 15, 17 million. That would be another, that's another 15 million out there that can get some more pieces for me to succeed. So I will say right now, it's a yes for us, and we'll see how it shakes down with these quarterbacks. But I think Russell Wilson want to be here, and I think the first of us want here. And more. Danmore cost $1 million last year, so that was like peanuts for a tackle. And a lot of people say, hey, he played like $1 million. What people say about Danmore is he started the season off pretty good, but then he faded at the end. Well, it gets it out of the way. I don't think he won't be back, because he had a lot of starts. He had a lot of starts in his belt. So I think somebody's going to give him a nice, decent payday. I mean, I can see Danmore making anywhere between $10 to $15 million next year. That's way more than what Steelers will want to pay him. The Steelers need to get their number one draft picks for the next 2 years. They need to get those guys together. Which this Danmore had, and really all the offensive linemen for the Pittsburgh Steelers, better offensive line coaching. I think that's the issue. I really believe Pittsburgh Steelers need to get a new offensive line coach. So maybe if more goes somewhere that has a solid offensive line coach. Like I said, I don't think he'll never be a Pro Bowler or anything like that. But I think he can be a way solid player than when he showed here in Pittsburgh. So I'm going to say no, and he will be somewhere else next year. Isaiah Loudermilk, nobody got to get into it too much. He really didn't show me anything I don't think he showed Steelers anything, so I'm gonna say no. The only thing is he's gonna be very cheap. So if there's not another team out there that maybe decide to give him a shot, maybe he come back on a 1-year deal, and Steelers can bring him back in training camp and let him see if he can earn him a spot. But I'm gonna say for right now, no, that Mr. Laudermilk will not be back. Jalen Warren, he's a restricted free agent, so he's definitely gonna be back. Steelers probably gonna put a tender on him for a first or a second round pick. So I don't really see nobody giving that up for him. But I will say this: I hope the Steelers don't bring him back thinking that he's going to be the number one running back. Now, granted, he might start the season off that way because if the Steelers say they sign a rookie, until that rookie is really ready, I can see Warren kind of, starting off being the starting running back. But long term, I don't see him being the starting running back because, he missed two to 3 games a year. When he gets a lot of carries, he get to fumbling. So I think the role that he's in now that fits him the best. So I think he'll definitely be back. So I'm gonna say yes to Warren, and I think he'll be back. But I just think the Steelers probably gonna have to try to find another running back that's going to eventually be the number one guy. So with that said, that's just some of the top free agents that I kind of wanted to talk about, and just kind of get put my opinion out there. And you can send a comment of if you have some opinions about what you think about these free agents I just talked about, especially the quarterbacks. I mean that's really the main thing. That's the main thing everybody want to talk about is these quarterbacks. So, just leave a comment. And I hope you like what I was talking about. So until then, take care, and I will talk to you later.